Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons, back with another part of another Code R. Judging by that little introductory piece of paper, no, that pre-game starting blurb thing, apparently the game wants me to go and find Matt before Squirrel? Before proceeding any further in the story. Well, I'm proceeding in the story by finding Matt rather than going to the cottage, which was spent literally in 3 entire chapters trying to reach and still failing to reach. So did he hide in here again like the little genius parcel he is? Also, I should say, it's now 5:15 on the day this video is supposed to go up. I would have got to work on it a lot sooner, but as a couple of my friends can indeed vouch for me, I have been a combination of busy, kind of down, and not well in the past week, and so this is literally the earliest I could have got to recording this. And that makes me really sad, because recording it now, I'd have to spend ages waiting for it to export, and then waiting... got hair in my mouth. Wait for it to export, then spend ages editing it, waiting for the edited file to export, and then upload it after having proof-watched it, and it's... I want to think about what time this video is going to be going up, and there he is. Because the way he's holding his knees from the distance, it looked like he was cuddling Waddles from Gravity Falls. Gravity Falls is over and I have so many sads! Or maybe we could find the treasure and that'll cheer him up, even though he has no right to be upset compared to us. The bit between his legs looks really awkward. Does it seem strange if I were to say that I haven't cried in several years, to the point where, at this point, I don't remember how? Just an observation from my personal life. So, what fuck who do with the stuff? Are we going to have to find the tree and then walk 16 fucks and then look at a rabbit? Is that going to be now? Are we ever going to get to the father's cottage? Oh, right, because he's the sensitive sort. I would say crybaby, but first of all, that's not a British English term, and so I'm not too fond of using it. And also, I'm in no position to comment, because I was an emotionally sensitive child as well. And I've since forgotten how to cry, so take that with a pinch of fuck. I don't know, but to be fair, Dr. Robbins is kind of an absent-minded asshole. He's like, as I've said... I don't even remember where I was going with this. I'm going to compare him to Asgore, but all of the like a bad version of Asgore, where he is just super irresponsible. But Ranger Asgore is Asgore though. Oh, so well, you're not the only one, to be fair, because she is a fuck. So we'll start with your emotional sensitivity. Is it at this point that we're going to do the treasure map and then head back to the dog in the shack and get the pink music player? Well, she's an arse parcel. Don't worry about it. Wow. Well, I suppose that's fair, I suppose. But plot twist: Dr. Robbins actually was cheating on Sayoko, and that's where Matt came from. Except no, because that's not where this is going in the slightest. I do like how this game is kind of not a coming-of-age story, but like there's recognition of ages within this, because I did see a Tumblr post pointing out how in TV and media, kids are portrayed by kids, adults are portrayed by adults, but teenagers are portrayed by adults, because teenagers with the hormones are considered too ugly for media, and so you never see an accurate teenager, and so teenagers go through all these beauty crises because they don't look like these perfect teenagers from television, because the teenagers from television aren't real teenagers. But this game addresses that. Well, it doesn't address exactly that point, but it has teenage characters dealing with teenage issues in a teenage way. Admittedly, they are too beautiful to be real teenagers, in terms of they have perfectly clear skin and all this everything, no awkwardness and shit, but at least they're dealing with... because this is all me just rambling off the back of her saying, you stop worrying about these things when you turn 16. Because around that age, the age number really matters to you, but then the older you get, the less you care. And so adult writers writing teen fiction, they tend to forget that. Admittedly, it's the lower end of the teens where it still matters, but nevertheless. And now we're getting some lore, and I'm getting so wrapped up in my Tumblrese rant that I've not really been paying attention. So, his father is like one step away from being abusive, but when he's not abusive, he's nice. That's what I'm taking away from this. And also, I will say, The Lonely Oak, that does kind of sound like either a children's book or a really bad euphemism for something. And more references to Kelly Crusoe. Oh, what? And you're not? Can I just point out something just something for you to chew on in your mind space? Obviously, we don't know how old Kelly is, but presumably she's aged up alongside Matthew because the photos that we've seen of him are relatively old, so she's going to be a bit older than we're seeing in these flashbacks, and yet we've not had any mention of her outside the flashbacks. There we go. He's addressing that right now. There's not really any mention of what's happened to Kelly. Is it going to be a plot point? Well, I'm not saying, but just Kelly, big influence in his past, but in his present, she's so far away. And Ashley has no siblings, which is fine, because you probably would have lost another parent when they turned 3, because that's just how your life goes with your giant-ass eyes. And yes, we're finally addressing the treasure map. So, do 16 fucks and then look at a rabbit. I've got it memorized, even though I keep forgetting whether it's 16 or 18 or 20. I think it's 16. And they're talking in pirate-ese. That's awkward, but cute and endearing, and I could believe it because he's 12, she's 16. They wouldn't find that cringeworthy. I would, I do, but they wouldn't, and so... Plausible teenage writing! Okay, now what do you want me to do? Just look at the map? 16 fucks, look at a rabbit. Okay, well, what do then? Oh, I just had to leave that screen, apparently. Are you quite finished? I mean, to them, it's not a joke taken too far, but to me, sort of. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then there's a shiny rock. 17. Can I not address the shiny rock? Did that not count as... Was that not 16 enough? Because you'll notice that she's taking very controlled steps. Do I have to go another 16 because only 2 paces counts as... Have I gone too far? Are you... Well, you wouldn't let me look at the rock! Because she's not running at full tilt, so... That's how you're supposed to count the paces she's taking. Yes, it's right there. It's that obviously shiny rock that I pointed out at 16 paces that you refused to look at. My God, Ashley, you're not very good at this. And now you're just twerking at the camera. Delightful. And another reference to Cool Pop, which again reminds me of Pit Cola from Gravity Falls, and then I remembered that Gravity Falls is over. Oh! And there's a rabbit-shaped hole between the tree and the background, which you wouldn't be able to see from that angle, you can only see from where the camera is. So... And I guess that's clever, but they wouldn't be able to see it from where they're standing. Game theory, get on this. I don't even remember what the treasure is at this point, so this ought to be entertaining. I do apologise for not commentating as goodly as I normally do, and oh my god, it's a new 3DS, despite the fact that this is several years before people even knew that the new 3DS was... In fact, this is before the 3DS was a thing, never mind the new 3DS. But I apologise for my commentary not being on point, but as I've said, it's relatively late in the day that this is supposed to go up. I'm tired, I've been ill-ish, I've been down, I've been busy. And so, my commentating skills aren't all they could be. And oh, that is precious. His most valued treasure is a letter from his mother addressing his father. And also she died. I think that there's a real life version of this as well, where someone's mother died in a car accident, and so they had their last text from her tattooed on their arm or something like that. That's a weird thing to stipulate in a letter. Like I was praising this game for how it's written teenagers, but I must criticize, that doesn't sound like a letter that you'd write. It just sounds too much like it's a deliberate clue. Like we're saying, you know, don't go and do this, because that's totally what you're gonna have to do at some point, so... Well, that's kind of dickish. Saying, oh no, you can't visit someone because they're not well enough, when clearly, although her health was obviously deteriorating, I think she still would have appreciated the visits. So that this guy's uncle really is a bit of an arse then. And so you can see why the letter's very valuable to him. But still, I'm not entirely convinced by that last paragraph of the letters. Well, this kind of makes sense, because early teenager logic. Although, why not just keep it in a safe place so that you definitely never lose it? Just a thought. Because anyone could have dug this up. I mean, admittedly, we did walk past it a whole bunch of times earlier in the game, and didn't even know it was there, but one of these days there's bound to be like a metal detector-ass chap just roaming around finding the box. And Ashley, you are so naive, you're so innocent, you're a white-haired cinnamon roll. In fact, you're an incredibly pale cinnamon roll. You're an uncooked cinnamon roll. You're an uncooked roll, with a hibiscus on your boob. And wow, I actually did predict everything that's happening in this episode. We've got the treasure, and now we're going to get the, we saw that, it's tying the things together, we know it's telling the truth because we saw the handkerchief. And Ashley refused to take it. Or maybe that's what it was. You don't know. Well, of course he didn't, because we found it! Yes, because we already oh my god, Ashley, you are not very good at it. You are not very good at being a protagonist, and this is your second game. Good Christmas. So, oh, I was gonna say, what do you need the map out for, but you're giving it back to him, because fair enough. So, we're finally going to go and address the music player, which is the other thing that I predicted for this episode. Inadvertently. And we get to see this cool screen transition again, this time with Matthew Crusoe in tow. Toho. Potato. Tomato. Other words that end in O. Now, I'm guessing we should go and get the music player first, rather than addressing the handkerchief, because, well, we have two people, so we can get the music player now. Is the dog still here? It wouldn't surprise me. You still here, dog? Nope, no you're not. Okay, well let's get the fuck then. From this angle, I swear it looks like Steven's gem from Steven Universe. Quite why you can't pick the top box up and, like, slide it out of the way or something, I do not know. But hey, it's this puzzle again. Except this time we could actually solve the thing and... Well, that was awkward. You could have dropped it at any time and crushed his hand. Okay, hello, post-commentary Tess here. It was at this point in the recording that I made a really weird and inappropriate analogy that I decided to edit out of the commentary. And if you know what my style of commentary is like, you should be able to determine that it must be something really strange and really inappropriate for me to want to censor it like that, because I don't censor my stuff. So the fact that I feel it necessary to completely replace that audio must have been pretty bad. Anyway, back to the actual commentary. In fact, I'm probably going to just edit that out with a brief explanation of why I edited it out. That was just an annoying train of thought that made no sense. And it's the dog again! throw a banana at it and then eat its soul. Are you going to get the handkerchief, or is the dog going to interfere? Is it gone? Is he going to be a liar? Because... Nope, but there it is. Because we know it's true because we saw it here earlier. Now take it this time! Take it, you fuck! There we go. Oh, shut your woof. What do you want? Arse parcel. Where are you getting Pochi from? Well, it's probably a Japanese name, to be fair. It's like the Japanese version of Spot or something, isn't it? Yep, there we go. Which reminds me, apparently, Cerberus, the three-headed dog from Greek legend, it comes from the Greek word kerberos, which I think derives from the Greek word for spotted. So, Hades literally named his dog Spot. So, that's cute. How do you know she's a she? She's been very he up to this point. Well, okay. Okay, she's a she, apparently. Why do you get a character intro? We don't speak dog. Well, okay then. What's your beef? Well, we don't have any beef because we're the ones supplying the beef. We gave you all of our beef. Oh, well why didn't we pay attention to that sooner? No, I do not. Of course you would, because everyone loves dogs apart from me, apparently. What is the appeal? Holy fucking shit. They have no respect for personal space, amongst other faults. But that said, why does there have to be a dog versus cat debate? And I don't have anything I can give her, so... Yes, I will pat you on the arse head. Good. So, we've finally made friends. The dog versus cat debate annoys me because, I mean, cats are obviously better, fight me, but why does it have to be one versus the other? Why can't you just like both? And the so-called tea and coffee debate as well. Leaf water versus bean water. Again, tea is superior, but why does it have to be a debate? It just... Why do people have to make arguments out of everything? It just seems a little bit ridiculous. Now, where we go? I'm assuming we're just going to take this to Elizabeth, even though she doesn't deserve it in the slightest fuck. But I think this does mean that we are going to finally get to the cottage, because, as I said a few episodes ago, it's not just... Despite the fact that it's described as a cottage, that gives you the false impression of it being this nice little thatched bungalow in the countryside. No, there's a little fucking town here. And... there's more than one so-called cottage there, so we're going to find the father's cottage, and also Elizabeth lives there too, and that's how we're going to return the thing to her. Spoiler alert, for the next 10 minutes or so. Assuming we don't get into another 10-minute cutscene at the last second. Hello, sunglass, can I help you? Something's fucky. Evidently he's going to the clock tower, because obviously that's where that path leads. So yet again, we're not gonna get to the bloody cottage. We've been waiting for 3 chapters and 9 episodes, and we're still not getting to go there. And, oh, you won't want to go with us because you promised your mother in a really blatantly worded letter that no one would actually write. It's not just me, is it? That does seem like an implausible thing for someone to write in a letter. For it to be that exposition-y. Is kind of my point here. So wait here, wait for us. How would you know? You've not managed to get that far ahead in this playthrough. So, you didn't know that was there, but you knew that was there, but you didn't know about the handkerchief despite the fact that we went to see it. And why is there a bonus path? Oh, that's the mermaid statue. You can see it between his legs, although... from that previous angle, it looked a bit like Muffet from Undertale from a distance. And I'm guessing by the time we catch up with him, he will have inexplicably disappeared, despite the fact that we can clearly see where he's going, and he's not moved out of view at this point. There he is, and oh, look, there's another CCTV camera. But I was going to check it, and we entered this cutscene before I even got to address it. And oh, look, another flashback. No episode would be complete without one. You going to remember visiting Copenhagen at some point? Or nope, just this. Okay, why are you getting a flashback from... Oh, I was going to say from behind the statue, but no, that was from the same angle as you're seeing it now, so never mind. You could tell I'm not very good at commentating if I'm in the state of condition of being that I currently occupy with my stuff. Self-demonstrating nonsense. So is someone going to shout you out of your confusion? Yeah, there we go. Is it Sunglass by any chance? Are you going to call us out on the fact that we were following you? Oh, no, yeah, no, we're just empty in the head. Well, at least you've recognized we exist, so that instantly makes you slightly less ominous. But... Why? Why are you opening up to everyone you meet? You know this guy is shady as fuck. You see? You see, you don't even have to say your name anymore and people know your full name. You are that open, you are that naive. Ashley. Why are you like this? Why are you so open? Sure. Hello, David Tennant. I say that. Did any of the other... Well, I was going to say probably other doctors from the Doctor Who series probably also used that name. I remember David Tennant using it a lot. Well, fucking... Why are you so open with your shit? Ashley, it's all well and good criticizing him for not giving details, but he's doing the right thing even if it does make him shady as fuck. That's a nice tie, by the way. I'm sure you're not, but Ashley, I don't mind that you're not minding your own business, but can you please just not be so fucking open with everyone you meet? It doesn't sit right with me, the fact that she's chasing this suspicious guy around. She meets him, and then the first thing she says is, "Oh, look at me, this is my name, and here's my life story." Like, Ashley, control yourself, s'il vous plaît. So, I'm guessing what he's referring to is the disappearance of Matthew's father? Because that was the 5-year thing? I think, because, as I said, there's this entire timeline working backwards, because the current year in the game is 2007. So something happened in 2002, and I don't remember which thing it's referring to, but I suspect it's the disappearance of Matthew Crusoe's father. So there we go. Bit too much of a coincidence for it to be a coincidence. Ashley, stop. Just stop. No, just stop leaking all of this information. Control yourself, you naive individual. You've told him too much. I've run out of words. You're just this exasperating, Ashley. What's this supposed to mean? What is the clock beef tower? Well, it kind of has stuff to do with us indirectly. Try and fucking stop me. They're making such a big deal about it. It totally won't be a plot point eventually, you realise. That kind of sounded like an insult. I'm calling you a realise. Pretty. And is there some sort of mechanism to it? Because I feel like there would be. Okay, this sounds like there's like... It sounds like there's a hidden message written in this. And so... Benjamin Graham, that sounds like it's... Charlotte Graham. Okay, first of all, those names are going to be important later. And second, make note, he took up his sword, family was blessed with the calm of the moon, and surrounded by love as if by the fragrance of flowers. Family crest, where have we seen a sword, a moon, and a flower before? Fucking clock tower. So, if you've been paying attention to the flashbacks, you will recognise these things, and there's another camera. Hello! I'm sure I've mentioned before that time that I went through Heathrow Airport, or might have been Newcastle Airport, and I flashed a really creepy grin to every single CCTV camera that I passed. And look, it's the clock tower, and oh look, there's that crest again. Just like I said, moon, flower, sword. It's very unsubtle. Are you going to flashback, or are you just connecting the dots? Okay, so we have located the location of one of the flashbacks. Is this a separate flashback, or is this just you remembering what you already know? Oh, she's expanding on a it's a flashback expansion. Goodness. Or, well, expansion, combination. She's combined 2 flashbacks into one or something to that effect. Well, there you go. This was informative. And a very unsubtle crest. Like, even that plaque is another one of those I find it hard to believe, judging by the way it's written, sort of deals. Where, even if you did devise a family crest right the fuck out of nowhere, it wouldn't be put together as unsubtly as that. Like, you wouldn't say, oh, he took up the sword, and then they were blessed by the moon and surrounded by love flowers. That's not how crests work. I would say not that I'd know, but I suppose I wouldn't know because I have a clan tartan, but that's it, because I have Scottish heritage. Like, I'm a quarter Scottish, specifically. All I know for certain about the clan tartan is we have, like, a clan motto as well, and I don't remember what it actually is, but it translates as, fuck it, everything will be alright. And oh, we get to end this episode on a task puzzle I have happy all of a sudden. I do hate it when people say, all of the sudden, because no, it's all of a sudden. Oh. Oh yeah. I forgot because you're so fucking open with everything else you say. Christ on a unicycle. Why would it randomly be locked though? That seems kind of stupid. So just climb out the window. You can clearly just climb out and swing around to get onto dry land. I mean, obviously Ashley's carrying around all of these items and shit, but I mean, Matt could go and maybe unlock it from the other side, perhaps? I don't think it will, somehow. It would be convenient if it did, but I would rather do a task puzzle. That makes no sense, because if that will open the storehouse, then again, if his ID card could open the guest house storeroom, then maybe it was just intended for a guest house worker who would have no reason to come this far back into the resort. So are we supposed to go through here or not? Oh, that was my dildo. Okay, so you're going to have to tell Matt about the task after all, then. And I'm holding the Wii remote literally right next to the microphone, just hoping it'll make another noise. Tell him to look away again, maybe? Stop telling him these things! Stop leaking all of your shit. It's like you have secret diarrhea. Stop it, Ashley. You were told not to do these things. Why are you like this? You're so bad at this, Ashley. As I've said, you're so bad at being a protagonist and you already have a full game's experience behind you. No, not just like a TV show, because in Doctor Who, you just zap it and it doesn't do wood, but otherwise it opens the thing. We need to actually do a clever in order to open this. Well, you've already shown it to him twice. Just, like, him not seeing it in action doesn't really make much of a fuck of difference now, does it? To be fair, it doesn't matter whether he can keep a secret or not, because if anyone else finds him, they're not going to believe him, and even if they did, he was going to get caught and sent back to his uncle anyway, so his word doesn't really count for anything, so I suppose it doesn't matter. Okay, so now we're actually going to do the task puzzle. And that will be a beautiful note to end the episode on. Except I'm sure there's going to be a 10-minute cutscene right after, which kind of makes me sad, but let's just do this thing because this is fun. Yeah. So what have we got? Oh. Oh. I have to tilt. I'd forgotten about this. There's shit involving tilting it to a certain... That's not the cleverest, but it clevers further beyond this. So, just a further introduction of, not only do you have buttons, not only do you have combinations of buttons that aren't necessarily obvious, like the 1+2 one, but there's also twisting the remote and doing other clever shit, and allow me to continue to gush over how brilliant the task puzzles are in this game. And oh wow, a loading screen. Okay, so out on the other side, and oh, I can control the game. Well, that's good. So, I'm going to end this commentary shitfest by saying, well, I have been and will continue to be Tessellating Hexagons, and in the next episode, we'll head further this way, where it looks like, judging by the minimap, there's going to be another really cool transition screen. So, well, see you next time, where hopefully I have better commentary and a slightly better sense of punctuality. Have a nice life.